Ding! We're live. That's what it says. So, the obligatory wait, pause, be confused, and now we're live. Right? From my left to my right, if you'd like to just introduce yourselves, the name of your characters, and any online things you want to plug, we'll start with, CW Crafter, a.k.a. Dante.
Hey guys, I am CWA Crafter, aka Dante. You can check out my YouTube. Everything has the same name. It's Craft Wonders Adventures. Today I'm playing Aurelian Salsec, the Elven Fighter. That's me.
And moving on to the incompetent, incredible Ian.
Yeah, I am the incontinent Ian. I run a YouTube channel called Fantastic Dimensions. I do lots of actual play stuff over there, and occasionally do other RPG-related threads or videos and shit like that. So if you want to check it out, please do. I am playing Pyros. He is a human immolator. Oh, and kind of a badass. Just saying.
Yeah, so in other words, what Ian's saying is that the only way he can consider himself to be a hot guy is to play one in an imaginary stage.
Damn right.
Moving right along to Phil.
Hello, my name is Phil. I will be playing Brother Alman, Alman, who is a cleric of Dionysus.
All right, and because I forgot to do so in the game prior, one really great thing, one really important thing, one really amazing thing about Dungeon World is the bonds. The bonds are things you pick with your other fellow characters. It's your connections, whether positive or negative. And at the end of session, we see if we have resolved any bonds, and if so, you mark it off, gain a point of experience, and then create another brand new bond. So again, moving from my left to my right, our friendly fighter of elven descent, Aurelian.
Salsec.
Yeah, that. What would you like your bonds to your fellow players to be? You should have at least one, but you could have one with both.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that Brother Alman is soft, but I'd like to make them hard like me. Hard-bodied. And I would say, because I want to do this one too, the Pyros owes me their life, although they may not know it.
Brother Alman is soft. I can't spell because I'm a genius.
No.
But I will make him hard. Great. And?
Pyros owes me his life, whether he admits it or not.
It's interesting. Alright, so that's your bonds. And speaking of Pyros owing you his life, Pyros, what do you want your bonds to be?
Well, not to be outdone, I'll pick one for each character as well. So let's see here. With Brother Alman, my bond with Brother Alman, I will teach Brother Alman the true meaning of sacrifice.
That sounds quite ominous.
You should see this freaking playbook.
Yeah, I know.
And then Aurelian Salsec has felt the hellish touch of fire. Now they know my true strength.
That doesn't sound like it can be resolved.
Well, it's on the character sheet. I don't know.
Now they would know my strength? That sounds like a difficult one to resolve.
Just says
I'm
they
all
have
for
felt
it.
the hellish touch of fire. Now they know my true strength. Okay, I'll change it then. Since you want to be difficult with this character that you gave me, Nelson.
No. I gave you the playbook.
Okay.
with all the characters. I mean,
In that case, then I cast something into the fire for Aurelian and still owe them their due. I'm not exactly sure what the hell that even means. That's why I didn't take it in the first place. But
all right, so we'll stick with the first one. Aurelian has felt hellish touch of fire. So we'll see if we can resolve that at the end. And brother Alman, you seem to be getting picked on over here.
And he's not the smartest of all people. Very faithful, very loyal. But he might have believed that Aurelian, being a little standoffish to him, was actually insulting his deity. So I'm going to put Aurelian has insulted my deity, and I do not trust them.
Wow.
So, and I'm working on converting Perlos to my faith.
Wait, let me get that. Aurelian has insulted your deity, and what?
And I
You
do
don't
not
trust
trust them. Yes. Trust them.
And you will convert Pyros?
I'm working on it.
Okay, well,
hey, if it involves specialty hooch, it might not be too hard.
and all right. Okay, those are some pretty cool bonds. All right, so moving on with the game, with the story, you guys have either worked with, are part of, or been hired by the Dockworkers Union to go to the rapidly growing town of Shatterpeak. It is on the verge of becoming a metropolis, a giant city. It's the who's who of who's what anywhere now. Their main export is this near magical hooch, this whiskey and various flavors of whiskey developed by these stone dwarves that have had hundreds of years independently to master their craft, not to mention thousands of years and generationally to have been having things passed down to them. This is also a main import and export of the Dockworkers Union. This stuff it is the creme de la creme of whiskey, of hooch. It is the mainstay of certain taverns and pubs and, meetings of great officials. And it hasn't been coming in. And the Dockworkers Union, the heads of the union, really can't allow that. You've been sent to discover why it hasn't been coming in. What's the issue? Are they trying to find other means of export and cut the Dockworkers Union out? Are they having troubles? Um, what what's the truth behind this? Why aren't they sending their hooch out? And what can you do to rectify that situation? Being being informed as you are, you are in the home of the mayor of Shaterpeak. This mayor is quite the industrious man. He is the mayor. He is the constable. He is the head, the guildmaster of the trades guild of Shatterpeak. Uh, he is the grossly overweight Constable Harrison. You have been introduced to Constable Harrison by a pompous dwarf who looks incredibly country. He's wearing a set of coveralls uh, and a bow tie with an overly twirled beard. It is elaborate. It is well kept, well oiled, well cleaned, well maintained. Much more than the rest of this dwarf. The dwarf introduces himself as Twirly Beard, um, and he introduces you to Constable Harrison. The three of you are currently in Constable Harrison's office to find out what's going on.
So does So and is he willing to? So we're a guest in his home, and so we can strike up a conversation with him. He's not hostile.
Oh no, he welcomes you in. He knows where you're from, who you're representing, and the whole 9 yards. He knows you're from the Dockworkers Union, and he feels not only welcoming, but he looks almost relieved to have you guys there.
Well, good. I'm relieved to be here. I like being inside, and if there's a place to sit, I would like to sit down and get a load off, and just kind of like pick his brains for as much information he's willing to share.
What time of day is it?
We'll say it's like high noon. It's beautiful. On the way towards on the way towards the constable's the mayor's mansion, and it is indeed a mansion. It is. There are large, ornate, decorative buildings, but his dwarfs them all. And there's even lining of gold in some of the moldings for his mansion, so that when you showed up with the sun being as high as it is, it almost looked heavenly. The front of his mansion before entering into it. And of course, the inside of his mansion is gaudy as all hell. As a matter of fact, Ian, on the inside of his mansion, what wondrous, most beautiful item did you see that caused you greater disdain?
Caused me disdain?
Yeah.
Just that he had it, or just that I found the item offensive?
For whatever reason you want.
Well, there's this famous painting that it's been missing for a long time, talking generations, and there's different rumors about was it stolen, was it destroyed, etc. And he has one in his hall, just outside this very office, and it's hard to tell because obviously, I've never seen the original. It may just be a replica, but it looks very authentic, and I think that possibly it's the real deal. In which case, and I'm curious to how he got it, and why he would be so bold as to garishly just hang it outside of his office.
Nice.
And it's a painting of an elven queen back when there were true elves in this world.
Elven Queen. So, those of you who noticed this painting, who saw this painting of an Elven Queen, whether or not you know the history of this being a famous painting, whether or not you know that it's been lost, quote unquote lost for generations, and the significance of it, Aurelian, being of Elven descent, you know that the true elves, which this one looks like, are actually Elven gods, and everyone of Elven descent is descended from these gods. So how would Aurelian react to this?
I think there would be kind of a very personal but brief moment of reverence for it, more the deepest nod of his head that you've ever seen. Because he seems to be kind of standoffish. As a matter of fact, when he walked in here, he would have walked right past whoever opened the door and tried to find a chair before seeing this painting. And he would pause a moment and just stare at it, and that would be all.
And how would Phil? Would you know anything about true Elven heritage, or just see this painting as it is, or know anything about this painting?
He wouldn't. Brother Alman wouldn't know anything about it, but he would. He's definitely one to appreciate beauty. So probably for different reasons, he'd be staring at the painting and the ornaments as well. just kind of appreciating it.
Noticing all the attention that his painting is getting, Constable Harrison is just like,
Yeah, that's a good part of my collection. I see you're men of a discerning taste. Come, we have a business to attend to.
Yes, Constable, we do. Why have the shipment stopped?
Well, there's been some things happening. People have been going missing on the Dragon Spine. Of course, we don't know. We don't have quite the means to handle. Really know what's going
on. I think he's bullshitting me. Is he bullshitting me?
Well, he's obviously stammering.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to try something right out the gate here.
Okay.
I'm going to use one of my starting moves here.
Uh-oh.
Called Give Me Fuel, Give Me Fire.
Ooh.
So I gaze intensely into his eyes, and I say, what fuels the flames of your desire? Now he has to answer me with the truth, even if he does not know or would otherwise keep it hidden.
You say that, and he starts like loosening up his collar, and he wants to hold back what he's saying. You notice that as he loosens up his collar, there's underneath what he's wearing, you can also smell the stink of a sweaty fat man. There's like chain after chain of pure gold.
Of course. Motivates all men, does it not?
And
I find fire to be a great motivator as well.
To each his own.
and he's trying to like push his gold, trying to hide it from you again, buttoning up slightly tighter, struggling intently with the top button of his collar.
Overhearing this awkward conversation between the two, Aurelian would actually just kind of take a moment and just be like, "Ha, you're right, friend," and just overly friendly pat him on the shoulder, kind of hinting that these two might actually know each other.
He sort of stammers to the side a little bit, off balance.
Yeah. Well.
And then he starts unbuttoning that top button again.
We are in need of help, being professionals that you are. Any help I could supply, any information, let me know.
So how long has the shipment been cut off for?
Well, the Dockworkers Union being what they are, it's with with the carriages, it only takes about a day and a half, 2 days tops, to receive a shipment, and they usually receive a shipment weekly. It's only been about 2 weeks. This being the second. They're not playing any games. They're very impatient people.
Constable, you know who we represent. They're not going to play any games with you. The shipments must resume immediately. And reparations for lost business over the last 2 weeks will have to be paid.
And he starts grabbing at his overly just rotund neck again, like, in the same motion, like he doesn't want to lose his head in the matter.
Mm-hmm. I'll walk over to that painting and I'll just kind of run my fingers along
it. He kind of he's staring at you like, and he's just stammering and nothing is really coming out.
It is very hot in here, Constable. I agree with you. This kind of humidity and these kind of temperatures, things can just spontaneously combust. I've seen it before. It's exhilarating.
He's not lying.
I'm just gentlemen. I know you're here for a purpose. I'm here to help. I want the shipment. You understand? This is it's hurting me as well. I'm losing guards, carriages, and most importantly, profit. I don't even know. It's the hardest thing. Let's just have a seat, please, gentlemen. Please.
And he's motioning for you to sit down by his desk, which is quite a bit of ways away from the painting you're fiddling with now.
I'm definitely already sitting.
I'll walk over then and have a seat. Is there a coin or some kind of a metal object at all? Anything sitting on his desk?
Sure. Whatever you
It
like.
doesn't have to be anything too big. Just something made of metal. So let's say there's a copper coin. Nothing too fancy. I'll pick it up and let's see here. I can craft metal objects just using my hands in place of tools and fire because of my fiery kind of nature.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to start kind of shaping this slowly and just kind of like bending it and moving it and I'm going to take my time as we have this conversation, but I'm just kind of molding it as it seems.
Yeah, the constable eyes are sort of just like, as you're doing that, like, good trick, and get some paper and wiping the sweat from his brow.
So I'm actually just gonna look at him for a moment. Just be like, wait, what was his name again? Constable Harrison.
Constable Harrison, yeah.
Okay, just be like, Harrison, you know we need names. Who exactly is to blame for this?
Here's the thing, gentlemen. Now we've been sending out the ship on time. I've sent more than our normal shipment repeatedly. The thing is, on the spy, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but every time we send out a shipment, delivery personnel, the standard accompaniment of guards.
And he takes like a deep, large swallow that's fighting its way down his oversized neck, down his throat.
Well, nobody's been taking shipment, but we've discovered that the personnel, the guards, they've been missing.
So what you're saying is you've recruited untrustworthy individuals to deliver these shipments? This sounds like a management issue to me.
No. You don't understand.
And he's staring at your hands as you're molding and morphing this metal coin.
It's starting to take an almost anthropomorphic looking shape.
All right, he's like,
the product has been retrieved and resent and retrieved and resent. If it was personnel, why?
And again with the tissues.
My friends, why would they not take the product?
And how much were you paying these guards?
Oh, well, we don't discuss actual costs here. But they do get. I don't know if you've seen my bag down here, but everyone is paid handsomely.
And how many guards do you assign to this?
Well, it's usually only an accompaniment of half a dozen guards. You see the road is this is the dragon's spine. Usually only takes no more than a couple of days for a turnover, you see.
So you'd see, gonna just a quick head count, way over exaggerated. Seems that there's 3 of us, but we're twice the men of any of these guards.
Of course, Union, yeah. Strong. Yeah.
Pay us each their wages doubled.
But you are from the. He's like, oh God. From the.
It would be good to show a move of good faith towards the Union, to demonstrate your commitment to ensuring the business arrangements don't suffer any further adversity. And I toss the coin down on the desk now at this point, and it's the wood of the desk kind of just smokes a little bit from the heat of the coin, which is now, he sees it's shaped like a fat man with a noose around his neck. I say, you know where the shipment is right now?
He's at this point in time. He's just staring at the what was once the coin.
Product?
Yes.
Yes, we have it, but
We will accompany it to Hallowed Hallow. You will come with us so that you can personally extend your apologies to the Union boss.
I'm very happy. I know we understand that I'm not only burdened with the mayorship of this fine town, but the trade guildsman is another very demanding position. And
Well,
constable of the guard, I could send my very good man Twirlybeard here, and
Twirlybeard just turns to him, sort of raises an eyebrow, and just goes to twirling his beard.
I kind of I lean across the desk a little bit. Now I rise up out of my chair, and I bend down though so that my eyes are level with his, and they're kind of smoldering. And I whisper to him, I know a man of your wealth and leisure is entitled to his holidays. Surely you have deputies to take care of your duties when you are away on such leisure trips to visit old friends.
Okay, now this more than any other interaction sounds like a move called parlay. When
Yep.
you have leverage on one of the NPCs that can be manipulated, you roll a parlay, which is a 2d6 roll plus your charisma.
Plus my charisma modifier, right?
Yes, plus your charisma modifier.
My charisma's 12. Is that a 0, isn't it?
I believe so. Yes. So it's a straight 2d6 roll.
That's a 9.
A 9 is a success, but they need. It says on a 7 to 9, they need some concrete assurance of your promise right now. So the way Constable Harrison reacts, especially with you, sort of this entire time slowly building up this level of intimidation and fear tactic. It's like,
yes. But you see, there needs to be well, with everyone going missing, I need to. The town needs its constable. It needs me. There must be assurances, of course. I will return post haste. Trip is to two, at most four days turnover. I can't be away from my office very long. Can I, Twirlybeard?
Twirlybeard again looks at him, raises an eyebrow. Starts twirling his overly manicured beard once again.
I'll look over to Brother Almond.
So Brother Alma's been somewhat quieter through this, and he hasn't been quite as forward. So he's gonna kind of come up to the constable now in a much more friendly manner, and he's more of a shorter, kind of a jovial little guy, and so he's got a very friendly look on his face, and it's like, and I just want to kind of like look at him and try to calm him down, like you'll be safe with us, and
See? Would a man of the cloth lie?
Well, of course they. Well, not every man of faith is a man of. You know.
A man of good faith?
Yeah, exactly.
I'd this point kind of lean in and just kind of flick the glaive that I have. Just be like, "Don't worry, friend. I'll make sure you return without a hair on your head harmed."
He's like,
And I'll make sure that this beautiful office of yours doesn't burn to the ground.
and then Twirlybeard is starting to look at you, raising an eyebrow. Really? Starts twirling his beard again. Just constantly primping and attending to his most wondrous. Constable Harrison begins to speak. Again, sort of shifting to and fro in his chair. Like, it's really unnerving.
Well, I need to get some affairs in order. See, so first light, most definitely first light.
Excellent. Where are our quarters?
I'll tell you what.
And he takes out a parchment and this very fancy pen, which, once he clicks a button, you can see little bits of lightning dancing around in the pen, and you of all people, instantly know the smell of burning, even the faintest sort of smell of burning, which this pen is doing to this parchment. It's inscribing with heat. Scrawls something out, and he hands it over.
At no cost, I'll put you up at the barmaid's apartments, the best tavern in all the land. I tell you, everything on the house, everything.
Your hospitality is certainly legendary, Constable. I look forward to seeing you in the morning.
But of course, must handle the situation at hand. Must be. Twirlybeard, if you please.
The short little dwarf walks up to you guys, and bows half-heartedly and motions for you to exit the office. So,
Anybody else want to say anything else before we go?
Yeah. Like Ian left quite literally.
yeah, I didn't mean that.
Yeah, he just dropped though. He'll probably be back. So.
No, I'm not gonna do it. I was totally thinking about it, but I'm not gonna do it.
What were you thinking of?
Taking the painting.
Just walking out with it, like in broad daylight, just sort of right in
Oh
front of him.
yeah. Oh yeah.
This is a down payment.
But I can't. He's my friend. I'm fine with just going to the bar.
All right, cool. So Twirly Beard starts leading you out. He's fairly quiet and always, of course, constantly attending to his beard, which it's quite the conundrum how this beard, not his hair, not his clothing, is just so overly manicured. It's oiled, it's washed, it's almost plastic in a way, and it's parted just perfectly so that you could see the bow tie. There's no collar or shirt underneath, just a bow tie with a small gem at its center. He leads you out of the house, and there's twirling road and twirly beard. Just go, well, if you go right down there, if you make a left turn, and you can't miss it. The barmaid's bop is one. It's right near gentlemen of your stature. And he kind of, even though he's shorter than you guys, he does seemingly look down when he says this. Of your stature, will know what an establishment of a law enforcement looks like. Well, it's right next door to that. If you can't tell which one it is, it's the most busiest, bestest, most musical establishment in Shatterpeak, of course.
And I'm walking. Like I'm making it a point to make sure that he knows that I'm just annoyed by the tone of his voice. As soon as he starts speaking and like giving instructions, I'm just like, and just start walking.
I'll reach up and touch his beard in a place where he can't see, a place that's close enough to his chin that he'd have to look into a mirror to see it. And I'll say, you have something in your beard right here. It's absolutely hideous. You might want to get that taken care of. Thanks for your help.
Don't touch. Where is? And he starts fiddling around with his beard. He's like, well, I can't. And he starts unbowing his bow tie, and he's starting to try to look at the gem to see if he can see his reflection. But of course, with all the facets and everything, he's like,
there's nothing there anyway.
Well, there's nothing there. But the fact that you said it, he's
oh yeah,
on the verge, visibly on the verge of a nervous breakdown. I can't. Wait. And he actually opens the door, and he's not even looking or addressing you guys anymore. And he starts pattering off. He's actually bare feet, so as he's running, it wasn't such a big deal before, but as he's running, you could hear the slapping of his feet on the marbled floors of this mansion. He doesn't even close the door. He just runs in and just...
I'll just kind of smirk and look at Brother Almond and say, sorry, I just couldn't help myself.
Oh, that was hilarious. That was well done. Let's go and enjoy the joys of Dionysus in this tavern. Even though we are unsupervised right now, from what I understand. If anyone wants to do some other investigation.
Well, you've got a night. I mean, it's midday now, and you're leaving in first light. So
I'd be a few steps ahead since I started walking already, and just have my glaive across my shoulders, and like it's very intentional that the blade side is facing out, so people need to move out of the way, and I'm just kind of holding it behind myself on my shoulders. And I just kind of turn suddenly and just maybe freak a couple people out. I've never been that much good with investigations. Just point me to who needs to get hit and I'll hit them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Most people, for the most part, are actually completely ignoring you guys. You might get a quick awkward glance here or there from a group of people off, to the distance, off to the side. A few snickers, well. Quite pompous individuals. And
I don't know. I mean, I think the next step of our investigation is simply to see if the constable is good for his word in the morning. If he tries to weasel out of it, well, then we resort to more forceful interrogation techniques.
Now, because this has to do with the retrieval of alcohol, would I be able to look for divine guidance to see if the constable is going to make a run for it?
Now, how does it say divine guidance works for you, cleric?
So when I petition, um, according to the precept of your religion, you are granted some useful knowledge or boon related to your deity's domain. So, I mean, if as far as spreading the wine around, it's a bit of a
Okay.
stretch, but
So let's see. Choose one precept of your religion. It preaches the sanctity of suffering. It's cultish and insular. It observes important sacrificial rites. It believes trial by combat. What is a precept of your religion, and how do you petition it?
oh, I didn't see those. So, that doesn't really apply.
Well, I think you can make up your own.
Yeah. So tell me, what is a precept of your religion, and how is it petitioned?
Well, it would be spreading joy through wine and song.
So
And so, getting this secured, this trade route secured, might be in the interest of Dionysus.
well, the trade route itself is that's greed. That's purely greed. It is a business venture. Um, if you're going to spread wine, song, joy, and drunkenness, you would have to actually do that, I think.
All right, fair enough.
How you go about doing that, that's for you to tell me.
All right, so I don't think I'm gonna be able to pull one of that off. So, are we all heading off to the lodging?
Don't worry about it. I'm sure you'll be able to pull off plenty of tricks at the tavern.
So yeah, you go to the barmaid's bop, and again, like he said, the I don't know if I could say the constabulary or whatever, the precinct basically is somewhere where Ian would never know if I tell it while he's dropped. But yes, Ian. Now that you're back, basically you have the prison / holding cell / the precinct where the guards. It's not the barracks, but it's where they go to do official business and hold people who are disruptive. And then literally right next door is the barmaid's bop. The barmaid's bop is a huge tavern. It's not a simple small two-story building. I mean, this thing is a mansion in and of itself. And there's people coming in and out of it, and you see guards coming out of it in full uniform, stumbling and yeah, their arms around other guards and obviously drunk. And every time the door opens and closes, you can just hear, loud music playing. And as you draw closer, whether or not the door is open or closed, even through the door, even through the walls and through the glass, you can hear this loud music playing.
So this is a holy place. Go in there.
Yeah, as you enter the barmaid's bop, there's this nearly deafening sound of music. There's a dance floor off to the distance with people dancing. There's a stage. There doesn't seem to be any actual musicians, but there's constant, trumpets, and strums, and there's one or two guys actually playing guitar, but for the most part, the band is mechanical. And you see these short little gnomes, like 6, 7 inches tall, running back and forth, carrying gears and covered in you know stuff and dirt and grime and grease and all manner of thing, walking around with wrenches the size of to them of Aurelian's glaive, you know, wrenching away at bits and bobs, climbing these tiny ladders on stage, and constantly attending to the mechanics where these sounds are coming from. The Other than that, there are too many tables for you to count. What's easily noticeable is that every time a person gets up from a table and either leaves to the dance floor or walks out, you know, in almost the blink of an eye, there's a woman attending to the table, picking up the stuff, cleaning it. There's other women seating people coming in, and you guys are actually led to a table that's cleaned moments before you're sat there. They're turning over tables like there's no tomorrow, and the bar itself, there's dozens of people working the bar, and the bar is damn near completely full of customers. This place is basically popping, and everyone working in the place is of a female gender.
Are they all dwarven females?
No, there's actually no dwarves that you can see there at all.
Oh, but the different races then, yeah.
Yeah, there's some human, there's some of slightly elvish descent.
Mm-hmm.
There's some where their skin is a bit green in coloring, and their eyes are a bit exotic. Um, Pardon me. But they're all pretty attractive in their own way.
What is that representative of? All right.
What do you mean?
You said some of them had a green in their skin. What?
Half
Right. That means half orcs. Gotcha. Wasn't sure. Just wanted to make sure. Well, gentlemen, let's pop some barmaids.
Hey, and I'd laugh and definitely go see about getting
falls
us
with-
a table.
Yeah, that falls within the tenets of your religion, does it not, brother?
Oh yes, Brother Alman is in heaven right now.
Yeah. This. I mean, I'm assuming maybe you had something like this that you called a church, but this just seems to be like there's. Yeah, there's not even, when you would go to church, there'd be stumbling fools occasionally. Here, there's no time for stumbling fools. The fools stumble on out the door, and new fools come in to get to that state of the previous ones.
So Brother Alman's going to sit down and try to order himself a pitcher.
You have the scroll, don't you, brother?
A scroll?
Yeah, he gave us a scroll that says that everything's on the house for us.
Oh, that's true. Yes, I present that. And let me order myself a pitcher of wine.
Once you actually present that after you're seated, she's like, "Oh, you should have just shown me that from the beginning. I didn't know you were guest of the constable." She runs off, and then from being attended to by a single barmaid, there's like a half dozen sort of attending you guys now. You're brought a pitcher, you're brought glasses. This is the best on the house. You've got to believe me. I would suggest taking no more than 2 fingers at a time, because this will knock you out. I'll tell you. They actually start bringing you food. They're not even taking your orders right now. They're just filling up the table with goodies.
So, when she says that, what exactly did she say again?
You should have given this to us in the first
No.
place.
About, I recommend.
Oh, no more than 2 fingers.
I was going to recommend the same thing to you.
She laughs. It looks like a fake laugh. She's like, well, you naughty boy, and she just walks off.
Oh, you don't know how hot my fingers can be.
Golly.
What is there to eat in this place?
It's on your table.
Yeah,
So
and
they're
I'm
just
eating
serving
it.
you food.
And I'm
all
eating
right.
all of it.
Like I said, they weren't even taking your orders after that point. Once they saw this parchment,
Oh, they're just
once
bringing
they
it all
saw that
out.
you're guests of the constable, they're putting things on your table to make sure that it's full,
Yeah.
that you have stuff. If you empty out a plate, they come back, they take the plate and bring a brand new plate. And if the food seems to be getting a bit low, they bring something else. You know, they bring grapes, cherries, apples, various meats, whatever. Until you tell them to stop, they're actually not stopping.
So Brother Elman is just a hurricane of gluttony right now. Now we got something to drop.
Yeah, I don't.
And it might be actually kind of grossing out the other members of the party.
As a hurricane of gluttony, how much of this liquor do you actually drink?
It's going to be a pretty, probably too much. Yeah,
I mean,
he's not going to get.
do you
As a
baby it
seasoned
with the
drinker,
2 fingers, like you were advised to, or like do you, how do you hit this drink up?
well, it's going to be the food and the drink as well. So he's definitely consumed the 2 fingers and everything and stuff into his mouth. But he's gonna try to not drink himself unconscious.
But how much exactly? Do you stop at this 2 fingers? Like all night? Is that what you drink, or
Oh,
you hit it
come
up?
on.
I'm just
Nah.
asking.
He would go for it.
He would go for it. And
Yeah.
since Ian said, "Oh, come on," how much is Pyros drinking?
Now, Pyros is actually rather reserved in his consumption. Pyros is, just take a moment to kind of describe him a little bit more. He's actually a pretty good-looking man. He's got short, dark hair. He wears kind of like a leather kind of long coat. Doesn't carry any kind of weapons. Doesn't wear any kind of armor, unless you want to call the coat a piece of armor. But he's got perfect skin, smoldering eyes. He talks in almost a whisper. But there's something about his demeanor, the way he carries himself. He seems like he's just on the verge of being really pissed off all the time. And he's an incorrigible flirt. He's a man who enjoys his vices, particularly women. And yeah, so he will just kind of sip it. This is wine that they told us not to take more than 2 fingers of? Yeah.
They gave you a drink,
Mm-hmm.
and they said it's the best stuff in the house.
Is this the stuff that's always being, the stuff that's on the shipment that we're supposed to be?
Well, you could definitely surmise that because she
That
did say
legendary hooch?
the best stuff in the house. And
So I'm
advise drinking no more than 2 fingers of it if you could help it.
So I'm going to try to sip on the 2 fingers the whole time. I'll eat healthily, not healthily, but I mean I'll eat heartily, I should say. But my focus is mostly on the barmaids. I want to get some bopping going.
All right, and what the hell is Aurelian? Blech. And Aurelian, how is Aurelian partaking in this?
I would say about a quarter of the recommended dose. So just the first knuckle, and that's about it. But he is also making no mistake to his intentions. He's definitely hitting on everybody who works here.
Oh yeah, they're all flirting back, but no more than that.
Oh, and that's plenty. He just is looking for just a little bit of fun, just to talk to people.
A few of them might play with your ears and stuff because you're kind of an exotic feature. Some of the other elven ones also kind of come over and they flirt with you a little bit more than the others.
Yeah, those are the ones I'm after if they're around. Yes.
So the description of this drink for Aurelian is that it's being a fighter. Aurelian has been in battle before, and he's taken his licks, so to speak, and you can remember a time where you've taken one shot to the head harder than any other you have ever had before, and even this small amount that you've drunk seems to have hit you harder in the head than any blow you've taken in battle or in training. Um, Pyros, uh, you know intimately the sting and the burn of fire. You know within yourself how much you burn. Uh, and this drink that you're drinking, you're sipping on, even the two fingers almost seems to rival that burn of fire that you have.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah, and
Probably
Brother
too
Almond,
much.
Brother Almond, I would like to ask you to make a defy danger roll with your Constitution bonus added to the roll.
Constitution. I do have a +1. All right. So an 8.
An 8, so a 7, 8, or 9 is a success, but is just a success at a cost. And this being the first defy danger roll, I will. The decision is usually entirely up to me, but I would like you to choose between having a worse outcome, a hard bargain, or being presented with an ugly choice. It has to be one of those costs.
Oh man, he's asleep with one of the half orcs.
Yeah, I think I'll go with the choice.
The
The hard choice.
the ugly choice or the hard bargain?
The ugly choice.
The ugly choice.
Hmm.
The ugly choice is that you can you can literally pass out and be driven to sickness from over imbibing both the alcohol and all of this food, um, but mostly the alcohol, or you can find yourself what you feel is a very attractive young individual, which your allies would notice is not very young, not very attractive, and not very female.
Not even an individual.
And not even an individual. There
A
you go.
table leg. I think he's just gonna drink himself unconscious. Like if you've seen the video of where the guy is drinking out of a glass and he gets sick and he throws up into the glass and then he forgets about it and he starts drinking again. I'm thinking this is the state Brother Almond is in right now.
All right, so that's actually what we see. You guys, one of you is sipping casually, the other is tentatively partaking of this drink. The two of you flirting, and Brother Alman apparently is not concerned with all this flirting, but partaking of these divine sacraments. So much so that he pukes in the glass, and then re-imbibes what he just expelled, smiling, dizzying, and he passes out face first in the food. And with that, we'll end episode 1.
It's not one, not.
I'm kind of imagining that whole moment as just being like talking with some elfy girl.
Oh no! Wait a minute. We started at
realizing-
6, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, we won't end episode 1 there, but we will take intermission now. Sorry.
I thought you meant Act 1.
Yeah, Act 1. Act 1 is what. Yeah, that. So Act 1, curtain falls, fade to black. Any actual real life sacraments or food that you wish to partake of, or bio breaks that you wish to take, feel free. We'll reconvene here in a few minutes.
Sounds good. I've already got my my beverage.
Yeah, well, I've got a ton of water, so you know what that means. I need to take a break for.
Yeah.
About how
Yeah, you need to take a break and get yourself a man's drink.
Well, we'll take 5 minutes.
5. Okay.
Take 5, guys.
7:10.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right. So I'm all alone. Will I sing a song? No, I'm not going to sing a song.
Boom a shaka a laka. I do hast returned.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Well, the system seems pretty straightforward and easy anyway.
It is. I don't know how much I'm over, under, or just right utilizing it. Being the first game I ran of this was like right
3
before
hours
this game.
ago. Yeah.
Exactly, and I've only ever played a single game before that. Ooh, excuse me. But I really like it. Like, it's pretty easy to understand and run.
Oh, I'm having fun.
There's
Yeah.
one thing I've got to look up, which probably is not important this very second. But I would like to know it because Brother Ullman is about to have something that's not nice.
Oh, how to do a save or die?
No. It's not save or die. Brother Ullman is actually going to he's going to wake up the next day with a debility. The debility is going to be sickness, which is I believe a constitution debility. So whenever he does constitution rolls, it's going to be at a minus. But I just want to make sure.
It does say sick.
Yeah.
Sick is -1.
Okay, so and then like I think I remember it taking like a week or something, or to heal naturally, because debilities are way more severe in the way that they're way more lasting than anything else.
Well, I bet you could get favor from your god to help you get over a hangover.
Oh, it's no, he's poisoned. This is some
Then
serious
neutralize
shit.
poison.
There's some serious shit. Like I said, it could be a magical means, but it lasts longer if it's not healed naturally.
For what's worth, I thought you made the right choice. It was very nice thing to do.
I don't know what you just said because you just weirded out. Your audio weirded out for me.
Oh, really? I live in a weird place. Any better?
It sounds. I don't know about you guys, but it sounds like he's kind of speaking from
The back
like
of
a
the
cardboard
universe.
tube.
Yeah.
Interesting.
A cardboard tube from the back of the universe. There we go.
Right, I'll read you the recap. See if I can sort them out.
High level magic.
And I think for
It's not a
petitions.
specific thing, but it's pretty cool. So, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just saying, like I should have chosen a petition before. I kind of just, but I think offering is the only one that would make sense for when I do want to petition the god.
Yeah. An offering does make sense. I mean, just pour some out for the homies.
Yeah, basically. I mean, it really has a lot to do with my inexperience with actually running this game, because the only classes I know a little bit about because I haven't played anything but a barbarian, but a level 1 barbarian at that. So yeah. But when Ian gets back, we'll get this. We'll continue. I don't even know what to call this. What's going on?
I do like the dynamic of the two, like, kind of stoic warriors and this one drunken idiot, just this fat slob just following you around.
He's
We're
quite the character.
We're the designated drivers.
Yeah. So now that Ian's back, we'll fast forward to the next day. If your characters so choose, you might have been able to woo one or two of the barmaids into your bedchambers for whatever reasons, whether or not they think you're attractive, rich, or they want to further their career because they think you're friends of the mayor. For whatever reason, if you want, you could, have company at night. Except, of course, for Brother Ullman, who had to be dragged to his bedchambers, and the rest of you would notice that these ogres actually came out to drag Ullman to his bedchambers.
That's okay. I can entertain too, so I'll take his.
Sure. But however, the next morning, whether you feel that this feeling of sickness, that this debility is divine or profane, however, Brother Ullman, would you like to describe the types of drunken visions you had while you were in this unconscious state and this sickened stupor in the morning?
Probably just being tormented throughout the night of dreams of drowning and then falling, and he'd wake up and he'd be off the bed, just probably naked on the floor with mess all around him, piled with sheets just scattered about, just wallowing in his own filth.
All right, so we'll move right along to the next day. Ullman, of course, having to be cleaned up. There's actually a pair of ogres outside Ullman's door that won't let him leave until he looks proper. Like if you try to look, if you look like you're leaving in that messy state, they actually won't let you. They'll bring you, a large tin of water with some towels and some lye, but they won't let you leave in your current state.
That's right. He would try to clean himself up and kind of get the robes in order.
All right, beautiful.
Yeah,
so,
you do not want to be forcefully bathed by ogres.
Is this a general thing? Is this like in the morning trying to get clean?
Yes.
Because I wouldn't have been worried about that at all either.
Yeah, well, he was, like he said, he was wallowing in his own filth and poop. They won't allow that to be seen in the barmaid's bob, coming out of the barmaid's bob.
Pyros, on the other hand, he's always concerned with his appearance and will try to look as immaculate as possible coming out in the morning.
I mean, I'm imagining Pyrrhus probably had a couple of, visitors.
Yep, exactly. 2.
So yeah, so you guys get ready to go. You do indeed meet the constable. You're actually escorted to the constable by a half dozen guards and actually another pair of ogres. Not the same pair of ogres, but another pair of ogres. And the constable, this fat, oversized, just lard in a suit, is sitting on. The word escaped me. I'm thinking chariot, but it's not chariot. Like a buggy.
Like a palanquin?
Yes, like a palanquin, but there's no one holding it up. There's nothing, picking it up. There seems to be gears and stuff, and
A
you would
carriage.
notice, yeah, like a carriage, but it only fits him. It's not a carriage that can fit like gear and stuff. They do have one of those that are going with you, of course, carrying all the shipments of this hooch. But for the constable, it's a personal carriage. It's only for him. It only fits him, and underneath it, there seems to be ladders and gears, and there's these tiny little gnomes with climbing gear hooked up to it, swinging back and forth, making sure everything is in order. They're constantly cranking clockwork wheels and constantly retensioning springs and whatnot. And he has one little gnome sitting at his feet with what looks to be a steering device.
I'm gonna Constable, it promises to be a pretty nice walk. You might want to hop down here with us.
The type of work I do is very, very tiring, and this is
Yes.
morning. I had to get so much business. Yes, business done before I had to get my affairs in order. You see, it was very difficult trying to get everything in order that needed to be in order in such short a period of time. But worry not, got it done. Twirlybeard is handling, but you don't want Twirlybeard to be handling much for very long. See.
No, definitely. I wouldn't want him to touch me with those greasy, oily fingers of his.
Twirlybit is not present in this, but
If we're looking at hitting the road, perhaps we should discuss a marching order, since we're traveling in this little caravan.
you know what? Funnily enough, that's part of the mechanics of the game. It's called Undertaking a Perilous Journey.
If I might make a recommendation,
Sure.
I think our fighting man, or Rulian over here, should probably take point.
And I would.
I'd be willing to take up the rear guard position, because I'd like to be able to keep an eye on everything in front of me anyway.
Okay,
And that would be...
Let me actually read the... This is actually a move in the game. Traveling is put down to a move. Now, this is the core of the game. They have expanded rules on this, but I'm just running the flat basic game for now. But undertake a perilous journey is an actual move, and it reads as follows: when you travel through hostile territory, choose one member of the party to act as trailblazer, one to scout ahead, and one to be quartermaster. The same character cannot have two jobs. If you don't have enough party members, or choose not to assign a job, treat that job as if it had rolled a 6, which is a failure. So one of you has to be a trailblazer, one of you has to be a quartermaster, and one, what was the last one? A scout. So basically, one to scout ahead, of course, would be the one in front. And then, depending on your role, something may happen.
I think Brother Elman should be the quartermaster in this.
Let the sick guy attend to the food and stuff.
So would you rather scout ahead or be the trailblazer? I got a big weapon.
I'm confused about the difference.
Yeah, well, it's on a 10 plus, the quartermaster reduces the number of rations required by 1. On a 10 plus, the trailblazer reduces the amount of time it takes to reach the destination, and the scout can spot any trouble quickly enough so that if there is trouble, you guys can get the drop on it. However, bad rolls are kind of the antithesis of that. Like, quartermaster, it takes more rations to complete your journey, more time, or something gets dropped on you.
I think we're agreed Brother Almond could be the quartermaster, so I don't know. I'll let you pick, Aurelian. Which would you rather do, U.S. Scout or Trailblaze?
I will trailblaze.
Then I will Scout.
Alright, go ahead and roll it.
It's a 2d6 plus your wisdom.
My
Modifier,
best
that is.
12. I got a 6, a 4, and a +2.
All right.
7. I didn't fail. Or I didn't fail terribly.
And Ian?
Not good. What's a 9 a modifier? Is
A 9?
Yeah.
It should be on your play sheet.
I know. I'm not looking at my play sheet yet. I'm trying to.
-1, right?
Is it -1? I was afraid of that.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think it is a -1. Okay, so that's a 4. Oh no, it says it's a 9 is even, so it's a 5.
So, one of the great things about Dungeon World is that when you fail, rolling a 6 or lower, you do mark off a piece of experience. So you get an experience point from failing because we best learn from our mistakes. However, you were the trailblazer, so even though the highway...
Actually, I'm the scout.
Oh, you're the scout?
Yeah, I was the trailblazer.
Oh, golly. Okay, so...
I love when you make that sound.
You rolled a 7 as a scout?
No, I rolled a 5.
I rolled the 7 as the trailblazer.
Oh, the trailblazer. 7 as a trailblazer. So it does take about a day, slightly more than a day, simply because halfway through, you leave first thing in the morning, and oddly enough, at the apex of the sun. Um, you don't really hear it coming, but this caravan, some of the guards, you hear them screaming out. They're screaming, ah! And if you turn to look, a handful of them actually get pulled into the woods that border the highway. Because, like I said before, I said it off camera. The highway, the Dragon Spine, is a highway. It's a stone road that is about half a man above the dirt road that lies on either side, and on either side of the dirt road continues the woods, the Wither Pine woods. So, from this area, from out of sight, they get snatched and dragged. You see them just in time for them to be dragged in. And everyone starts to get a little crazed and nervous and worried. The constable's like, "Oh, what's going on? What's going on? I thought you said this would be safe." And the ogres are like, they weren't carrying weapons. The ogres, they're just large. They're balling up their fists and they're looking into the way. But Ian, would you mind rolling me a d6?
1d6?
1d6. Actually, give me a 1d6 plus 2.
Plus 2, so it's a 7.
So it's a 7. So as a matter of fact, because you were only traveling with a half dozen guards, all 6 of the guardsmen and 1 of the ogres gets drug off. Let's say the one you did see was the ogre because he put up the most fight. And you can actually notice, like, he looks like he's covered in some white sticky stuff, but it's smoking. And he's trying to fight, but ultimately he gives in, and that's in that moment of his fight, before he gave in, is when you guys noticed that there's almost nobody left.
What the hell is it?
And again, the constable, the one remaining ogres, he's bawling his knuckles blaring white, just what's going on? What's going on? And the constable is like sweating. Oh my God! I can't believe we're going through this. You said we'll be safe. The gnomes are screaming about.
We said you'll be safe, and you are, constable. So shut up.
And I'd I figure since I've been trailblazing, I've been at the ready, at least have my weapon somewhat drawn. And I'd be like, well, I guess there's only one way to find out, and just let's go.
So you just dive into the woods?
I am ready to fight. Yep.
Yeah, Brother Almond waddles after him.
And Pyros, it's basically only you. I mean, there are the tiny little gnomes, but gnomes are only about 6 to 7 inches high. So
I look at the ogre that's covered in the weird steaming spooge and say,
no, that ogre is gone.
Oh, he's gone. Yeah. Oh, the other ogre's fine.
The other ogre's fine. He wasn't assaulted, but he's just standing there at the ready to just go after or defend himself from whatever is attacking you guys.
You protect the constable, and then I'll go after my friends.
And if you're
anything
leaving,
attacks, shout.
The constable's yelling, "Drive, go! I'm not staying here." And he's like slapping the poor little gnome, which is just barely taller than his freaking hand, nearly breaking this poor little gnome's back, and he shifts a gear, and the little buggy starts going, and the ogre is following him. Of course, protecting the constable.
So I'll go last after Brother Almond and Aurelian.
I have no idea this is happening. I'm in.
All right, cool. So you guys break through the tree line, and you go deeper in a bit. You hear the screams. Now you all went to one side, but the group got dragged off into apparently 2 sides. You went off to the side, you saw the ogre dragged off. You could hear the ogre screams. His is the last scream you hear before everything goes silent. And now you're in the woods and you're noticing, of course, all this, the foliage, the trees, the canopy, and the canopy seems to be covered in webbing. Um, there's some webbing from the canopy reaching down to the floor, and the floor is just alive with little critters, but other than that, it's dead silent in these woods.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going in just 100%. Like I'm being smart about it, but I am purposefully moving towards where I heard that last scream come from.
So,
And I
by
would
being smart about it, what does that mean?
like I'm not just full bore running like towards that sound. I am watching everything, checking my surroundings. Like you said, we noticed the bugs.
Yeah.
If I see any more of that kind of white goo, I would kind of not stop moving forward, but definitely try to take some of it and examine, like between two fingers as I'm walking, keeping my eyes peeled.
Okay. And our other two very upstanding individuals.
I mean, Brother Elma's just doing what he can to keep up, even though it seems like you're not going full bore in there, but he's crunching through the woods with his staff, possibly breathing heavily.
And I kind of catch up with him. And I lean over and I whisper in his ear, I say, "You still smell like vomit. Look on the bright side. Nothing will want to eat you."
I pat him on the
You know
shoulder.
what's awesome about that? It's like almost on cue. Something comes from the canopy. You see what looks like just this white stuff firing from deep within the canopy, from the webs bursting through the webs towards Brother Almond. Brother Almond, would you like to what would you like to do?
So you said this is like the spray that coated the org?
Yes. It looks similar to that.
All right. And so if I get out of the way, is it going to hit somebody else?
Well, you'd have to get out the way to find out.
Oh, okay, so...
You have to tell me what you're going to do.
Well, I was just wondering, like, is if there's someone behind me, and like he wouldn't dive to danger, dive out of the way if someone was right behind him.
Well, it's you
Is
and
that-
Pyros are interacting right now. You said you leaned in close and said,
I'm gonna try to,
"You smell like vomit. Nothing's gonna want to eat you."
and then this splooge comes out. So I would try to defend.
You're trying to defend Pyros?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll your. So you take a defensive stance in front of, interposing yourself between Pyros and this thing that's rapidly, firing towards you.
Yeah. Let's do that shot. So, well, didn't do it. So I only got a 5.
Wow. So take a point of experience for learning from your mistakes. Which is the great thing about Dungeon Roll. You get a point of experience. And with that,
Do I get to take an action?
you do, but what provoked the action was this thing firing out. So it's going to be resolved now by actually hitting
Shit.
Brother Alman. And we're going to say that I'm assuming by trying to take a defense position, you were raising your staff and whatnot.
Yeah.
This thing splashes a bit on your staff and a bit on you, but most of it gets on your staff.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see it smoking, and your staff actually snaps in half.
Oof.
And as it snaps in half, you can feel some tugging. But before that's resolved, let's see what Pyros, who wants to do something now, and Aurelian is doing.
All right.
Well, that kind of ruined what I was going to do, but that's all right. Let's see. Then, in that case, I will grab the staff, like one half of the staff, from Brother Allman, and have a look at what this stuff is that's on it. Is it some kind of webbing or something, or is it like an acid? Is it a
Okay.
poison? I want to try to figure out what this is real quick. Do a quick examination.
Cool. So there's a move called Discern Realities,
Yep.
and you just roll that. Depending on what you roll, you can ask a few questions, and I have to answer 100% honestly.
What's it modified by?
Discern Realities is modified by Wisdom. Your Wisdom
God
bonus.
That's a 7.
A 7? Okay, you get to ask one of the questions. Now, ask the question you want, but be careful what you ask. Just because I answer honestly does not mean I'm necessarily going to give you the answer you want.
Right. Okay. How do I just word this question? Does it have to be a yes or no question, or it can be any question, yeah?
It could be any question, and I'll just answer honestly.
All right. What the hell is this stuff?
It's webbing.
Okay. I will then, and is that my full action then? Can I say anything, or?
You can, but I'm actually curious to see what, what our little pointy-eared warrior of "I'm gonna go first" is doing as this is happening behind him.
I'm just shouting out spiders.
Yeah.
Do I have any kind of view of this? Like, turn around, do I see what's happening?
If you turn around, you see that there's some white stuff, a string of white stuff leading from Pyros and Brother Almond's location into the canopy. But everything up in the canopy is kind of silhouetted because this is the midday's sun.
Okay. So I think I'm going to turn and see that, and in an attempt to aid Brother Almond and make things a little bit easier for us, ground walkers, I'm going to actually reach out and grab some of the webbing and twist it around my forearm and try to yank.
The webbing on Brother Almond's staff?
Yeah, I'm going to like grab that and try to yank whatever
All right,
is
cool.
on the opposite end.
Let's pause there and actually see if he's doing a physical action, what physical action Pyros is trying to do as well.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize you had a physical action as well. Actions everywhere.
Like, there's no initiative here. It's all about whoever the story ends up flowing.
I'm going to try to conjure a weapon of pure flame.
Oh, ooh, okay.
So I roll plus my con modifier. That's a 15, so it's plus 1. That's an 11.
Yeah, so I think you get 3 hold for your weapon.
I get... So that means I may treat my intelligence as either strength or dex in regards to making attacks with this weapon. And it also means it begins with the fiery, touch, and dangerous. And 3 uses tags, whatever those all mean.
Yeah. So you can use it.
And I get to choose 2 of these following tags.
Yeah.
So the listed tags that I want to use are, number 1, remove the dangerous tag. I presume that means I can hurt myself with it or something, normally.
Yeah, or your allies.
So I will remove that tag. And then for the second tag I want to put on it, I will say plus 1 damage. And what it is, I have summoned basically a fiery scimitar, just made of pure red and orange flame.
Nice.
Okay.
All right, and really quick, because this is what it seems like it's going to end up being, or Aurelian, when you grab hold of the webbing, you wrap around it, it actually sticks to your hand. But I think this would be a defy danger based on Constitution, because you could actually feel it burning away.
Okay, that's fine. 10.
10?
Yep.
Okay, so you pull at this thing, and it's you can feel the pain, you feel it hurting, but you manage to pull this thing towards you, and actually rip your hand from if you want to rip your hand from the webbing, so you don't take any further any actual damage. You can.
Could I possibly trade that? Because I ripped this thing down, correct?
Yes.
Could I trade the I will take damage? Can I stab it instead? So yank it down and I have a glaive and just kind of set it, pull it down onto the glaive.
All right, cool. What kind of armor are you wearing?
Scale.
Scale mail? All right. At first, because you succeeded, you're not going to take the damage. You pull it, it lands prone before you. Its thorax was what was connected to the webbing. You caught it off guard. However, that part of your armor, the webbing is beginning to fade away as it's actually corroding through your armor and your scales, and it's actually corroding all the way up past the webbing. And most of the way, the majority of your arm, all of that actually falls off.
Okay.
And it's laid bare before the three of you.
The majority of his arm, or the majority of the armor on his arm?
The armor on his arm. The armor, the clothing.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
just an important clarification.
Yeah, because I'm trying to figure out if, like, by making the trade of losing whatever, does that allow me to make an attack right now? Because if that, I mean,
Yeah, it goes right along with the narrative. It's prone, so it's not going to do anything right now. It's surprised. So basically, the three of you, if you so choose, whatever narrative you choose to go with, the narrative may change depending on whatever actions you take.
Come on, Aurelian, stabby stab.
oh yeah, that's definitely what I'm doing.
All right,
I
so
just
make
pull it
If I
down.
can see him doing this, I would like to cast Bless. If I can see him like pulling back to get to take a blow on the creature.
I mean, you can cast Bless as a reaction to you being attacked by, acid webbing.
All right. So I got a 12.
Nice. So you can successfully cast Bless, I believe without any drawbacks.
That is correct on a 10 plus.
So there you go. You cast Bless.
So you have a +1 ongoing.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna roll this.
Would you like to describe how that looks? How do you bless Aurelian?
Well, I see. As he yanks this creature out, and has it all as surprise, I like to kind of take out kind of a bottle that is attached to my hip, and kind of just drink out of it, and then spit it towards the ground in his direction, and kind of like an exclamation of praise.
All right, cool. So as long as you continue to fight Aurelian, you get a
That's awesome.
+1 ongoing to your rolls, and Brother Alman, you'll get a -1 to casting spells for as long as the bless is maintained.
You bless him by spitting booze at him. That's brilliant.
Yeah, that's
I
great.
accept.
So now that you have booze spit in your general direction, some of which may or may not have reached your person, what are you doing? Stabby stabby?
Yeah, stabby stabby all the way, 100%. I got a total of 9 with the bless.
You know what? Because you're blessed, because it's prone, don't even worry about the attack roll. Just roll your damage.
Okay, that is this one.
And your choice, if you wish to take a negative effect, you can deal an additional d6 damage.
Yeah, I already took a negative effect. I'm missing part of my armor. Okay, so that would be. Do I add strength to that? I don't.
No.
Okay, because I know I didn't for ranged last time. But so that would be a 7 total, but I also have 2 piercing.
Okay, so you actually pierce through its thorax. So it's like, you stab at it, and its legs were just, violently twitching,
Yeah.
and then they just sort of curl in and stop. But when you remove your blade, it's smoking a bit, and though not destroyed, you can see a bit of corrosion and stuff from stabbing at this creature.
No.
Okay. Well, there's obviously more than them, because this one spider didn't take away our entire party of guards. So what I'd like to do is, as I'm holding this burning, fiery scimitar, I'm going to start setting the trees on fire, like where the spider came from. And I would even try to use my Zuko-style move.
Okay.
So when I bend a flame to my will, I roll plus wisdom. So I guess I'll roll that first. That's not good.
What'd you roll?
A 5.
Well, I mean, you've learned
So I guess
something
it
about bending
fails.
flame to your will, so
You're
gain
leveling
experience
up.
point.
Okay.
Gain experience point. But
Yeah.
fortunately
does not.
for me as the GM, I do get to do nasty things when you fail, though.
Okay.
Uh,
Go for
so
it.
we'll say that you're trying to use your Zuko style, and
Mm-hmm.
your scimitar starts to go a bit wild, and it's almost as a serpent. And though your flames aren't dangerous any longer, they don't harm you. While it does seem to just go out of control, it lights the entire area around you alight, and your flame in your hand, the scimitar disappears, but now you guys are at the center of a flaming forest.
Awesome.
So you could feel the heat licking at you, and these flames are a bit out of control.
I'll look at Aurelian and Brother Hellman and just say, oops.
And I'm severely distraught. Part of it is because of the fire that's now around me, but I was distraught even before then as soon as I realized my weapon was messed up because it's so beautiful. And now I'm stressing even more because there's fire, and I'm just kind of looking around for, like, which way did we come in here?
Yeah, when you're looking around, you do notice that at the canopy, there's things moving around and several large silhouettes running in all in the same direction away from this fire.
Let's run this way, lads. This is the way we left the Chancellor in the carriage. The road is that way, the highway.
Okay, that's the opposite direction of where these silhouettes are running.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I don't want to fucking fight a whole bunch of more spiders. Do you guys?
It sounds like they're getting away from the road. I mean,
Yeah.
unless we're gonna dive through fire.
Well, I mean, my current job is to make sure that what's his face Harrison doesn't die, and get this thing delivered. So that's more where
Cool.
I am.
But you guys are actually surrounded by the fire. Remember.
Yeah, so we got to punch through it.
Either way, you're going to have to dive through the fire, or do something about the fire before moving.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we're gonna dive through fire, we might as well try to dive towards the road, because then we'll know we'll be running into a clearing at least. So, would you like us to do the?
Defy danger.
Yeah.
Is it modified by what this time? Dex, Con, Strength?
Defy danger is modified by how you describe, the narrative in which you defy that danger, and that narrative will dictate the stat involved. So if you're trying to like dive through the flame, then that's conceivably dexterity. I don't think you can muscle through the flame as much as.
I'm gonna watch the ebbs and flow of the flame and try to find a weak spot. And when I see a weaker point in the flame, I'm gonna quickly dive through that one. So I'm gonna use my quick thinking to try to get safely through the fire.
That makes sense because you're an immolator, so you have an intimate knowledge of flame.
Exactly. So, I know its patterns.
So you could definitely do something like that.
So I modify by intelligence?
Yes, sir. My intelligence modifier, so yeah.
It's an 8. God, these dice. That's an 8 after my +2 for intelligence.
So you do succeed, but there is a cost. Now this is your first defy danger. So I'm going to let you choose this real quick. Would you like a worse outcome, a hard bargain, or an ugly choice?
Well, Brother Omen did the ugly choice last time. So I'm going to try something different just for the spirit of the game. Let's go with the hard bargain.
The hard bargain? Okay. Here's the hard bargain. You're watching these flames dance to and fro. They're pulsating. You can feel the heartbeat of these flames. You know them. You know fire. And you know these flames particularly because though it got out of control, it did originate from you. And knowing that it originated from you, you feel that you still feel the connection to the flames. And you feel that you can once again internalize these flames, absorbing all of the fire to create perfectly safe passage for your compatriots, though you are unsure whether or not how much would hurt to tame these flames once again.
Oh yeah. I look at Brother Allman and I say, now I will teach you the true meaning of sacrifice. And I will try to internalize these flames.
Awesome. So, you internalize the flames. The flames, you know what? You feel free to narrate how you internalize these flames and get them, away.
So I kind of step towards him, holding my hands out like you're warming your hands in a fire. And the heat is just like pouring back into my fingertips and into the palms of my hands and just like flowing through my hands to the point where, actually, if you look at my profile picture there, you'll see how his hands are kind of on fire. That's almost exactly what it looks like, except my hands are outstretched in front of me. And the fires are licking up and even like kind of crisping the edges of my jacket as it's just kind of like a vacuum effect where it's sucking the flames in. They're all coming around to this point in front of me where I'm holding my hands out and coming back up into my arms. And I'm probably wincing in pain and maybe even crying out, depending on how much damage this is going to do to me. But
All right. So, what? Of course, you're wincing in pain. You're crying out. However, the flames don't actually deal any damage to you. You tame the flames to a certain extent. However, you're going to gain the ability stunned, as it's taking a great deal of your consciousness, your concentration, and your psyche to keep these flames under control, internalize them, and rein them in.
so as I draw in the last of it, then I stop kind of screaming and I let out a gasp and I drop down to my knees and I just kind of sit there almost in a trance, just staring at the ground and staring at my my hands.
So, Brother Alman, Aurelian, seeing this magnificent and disturbing display, how do you gentlemen react?
Well, there's no more flames, and I'm probably very worried that the spiders might realize that. And so, if you are stunned, Brother Alman would like to. If you're not moving, he would. Brother Alman would come up and try to drag you to the road.
Yeah, I'm just on my knees there, breathing heavily.
Yeah, so he's coming up behind you and trying to grab you.
He can act, but effectively the ability just gives you a -1 to your intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sort of like it's taking his mind to keep these flames within him. You know what I'm saying? He can move.
Yeah,
All right.
but I'm not thinking very quickly, so
Yeah.
I probably don't move until you come over and try to help me up, and then I'll kind of go along with you.
All right.
Yeah. And I would be not even loud about it, but just turn my back and, realizing that I now have one arm that is open to whatever this is, I would grab the shield from my back and actually start using it and tell them and just turn and just like get to the road and just start backing up with the glaive, watching the tree line. I am the rear guard right now.
So I'm thinking I have Perot's in one arm and half of my staff in the other, just beating through the bush back, or what's left of it.
Yeah, there's oddly enough, though there was fire, though there was burning, and there are burnt objects, the only smoke seems to be coming from Pyrrhus's flesh. And as you see the smoke sort of bleed off into the canopy towards the webs, the heat, you can feel it. It's tangible coming from Pyrrhus. It's so much so that the air around Pyrrhus is distorting and waving. The loose webs up in the canopy are blowing away from Pyrrhus. You can see small little rays of the midday sun bleeding through the leaves and through the webs. And with that, we'll see you guys next week and find out what happens.
Cool, man. Thanks for running the game.
Yes, thank you. That was fun.
Now, really quick, let's handle some end of session stuff. I did it live last game. I'll do it live this as well. First, if I get the questions correctly, really quick, is the question: did you guys loot a treasure of note, or a memorable treasure? Which
Did we take something? Is that what
I
you
think, yeah. Like if you would have took the painting, that would have done it. Did you face down an enemy of note, a notable enemy? Did you defeat a notable enemy?
Well, I bopped 2 barmaids. Yeah, that was a pretty memorable treasure of note, if you ask me.
Yeah, that's not like. Yeah.
All right, fine.
The memorable enemy, you really didn't defeat not a memorable enemy, but an enemy of note. And I believe the last question is: did you learn something important or meaningful about the world?
There's a bunch of spiders. It's dangerous. Yeah, half your party just dragged into the woods out of nowhere.
Well,
that depends, actually, because I don't feel like Aurelian would necessarily know everything there is about elves in general. But I think seeing that painting, which would have depicted like what an actual elf would look like, would have been something kind of new to him. And that's why he took it as a more of a. Well, he dealt with it with respect.
Yeah. And what were you going to say, Ian?
Oh, well, for me, what did I learn? Just that, unfortunately, as I've probably kind of surmised before, but money makes the world go round, and everyone seems to be motivated by greed. Even more, so the more powerful their position is, and I'm thinking specifically about the constable. And did I learn anything else?
Well, now mechanically, I don't think that this should be discussed, the specifics, but as the first few games, I think I will discuss the mechanics and the mechanical thought behind it. And I think, yes, you guys did learn something important about the world. One is, yes, there are spiders in Witherpine Wood, giant spiders that can, kidnap entire parties.
Even ogres.
Even ogres. And the next thing of note is, yes, the people in this general area, the people of power, most importantly, are greatly motivated by greed. You come from the Dockworkers Union, which is all about that money, and you're dealing with the constable, who is, of course, all about that money.
So am I. And out of character.
Yeah. So that is something. So you can take a point of experience, each one of you, for that.
Ooh.
One more thing I learned is that Brother Almond's religion is actually pretty cool.
That is. I'm down with it.
All right. Now we ask the questions. Did anyone? Oh, okay. What's up? You raising your hand? You're like an excited little schoolgirl, bro. What's going on?
This is funny to me. No, when we do the experience, because I've done this before, so I want to do.
All right. Is the question: do you guys feel you resolved any of your bonds? Go ahead. Go ahead. You can't contain yourself. Just go.
So it's not necessary. It's related to one of my bonds. So that's kind of part of the question. Is my alignment was good, and as a good fighter, I have to defend somebody that's weaker than me. Because of my bond, Brother Allman is weaker than me, and that web got him.
You know what?
Now you understand.
I did forget to give people to ask the question of alignment last game. So thanks for remembering that.
So in character, I did defend somebody that was weaker than me.
All right, we'll ask Brother Alman, because your bond, if I remember correctly, in regards to Brother Alman, is that Brother Alman is soft, but I will make him hard. Right? Now, first we'll ask you the question: do you feel that bond is resolved?
Well, I mean, he's still the little fat guy is puking on himself. He hasn't quite transformed into a fighter's image.
Okay. So that bond isn't resolved.
Yeah, the bond.
However, because of the bond, coupled with the fact that he's sort of stumbling around and he's visibly sick, and he was puking up and in real bad condition. Yes, I think he would constitute as being weaker than you, even though he's the same. So you can take an XP for that. As a matter of fact, let's do our alignment things first. So Ian, since you're the next one on my screen, what is your alignment, and what does it say?
My alignment is chaotic.
Ooh.
And it says to spread a dangerous new idea. Which I don't know if I did any of that now.
Yeah, I don't think you have. So we'll say that's still up in the air. That was not achieved. And our resident cleric, our fun guy, our party animal, Brother Alman.
He is a good guy, and he will endanger himself to heal another.
Okay, yeah, there was actually no healing done, so
Not at all.
I don't think that's resolved. But back to the bonds. Now, since we started with Aurelian, let me go back to this, writing down Aurelian's bonds. Aurelian, we've already discussed that the bond with Brother Almond is not resolved, and there's another bond saying Pyros owes me his life, whether or not whether he admits it or not. Do you think that in some way was resolved?
Yeah, because of that end fire. Like seeing all the movement in the trees. Like there was a lot of spiders there. We were about to be stuck in a forest fire. Like I may not think that that's necessarily him admitting it, but I would call it even now.
They evened up the score. Now, Pyros, do you believe that bond has been resolved?
Yeah, actually, although not necessarily intentionally on my behalf. I didn't even think about it when I did it, but yeah, I think it did.
See, you just don't admit it. You just won't admit it.
I might not admit it, but it's done.
Yeah, but yes, I do agree that in the narrative of what happened, that would actually resolve him owing you his life.
Mm-hmm.
So you can you can mark that bond off, and take a.
Now, in my opinion, I think he owes me his life now. But you know.
Well, we'll go to that, or that could be his new bond if you want, because you have to mark off your bond, take a point of experience, and once you've taken that 1 point of experience, come up with a new bond. Would you like that new bond to be the exact opposite?
Yeah, I think this is going to be our thing.
Okay, you owe... Okay, so, alright, you owe Pyros. Pyros, my life, and won't admit it.
This is going to be how one of us dies. Just we're caught up in the game.
But it is interesting in the fact that this is the interpersonal character dynamic between the both of you. You know, like it's making me feel that you guys have a history of one-upsmanship.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, man, you always need me to save you, and then the other guy saves you, and you're like, yeah, whatever. No insight. You know so.
Who saved who, bitch?
Yeah. So moving right along to Pyros, because Pyros, Ian, you're the next one on my from left to right. Your bonds.
Oh, yeah, my bonds. I will teach Brother Almond the true meaning of sacrifice, and Aurelian has felt the hellish touch of fire. Now they know my strength. Well, actually, ironically, I think that was resolved. Because he definitely felt the heat of the fire as we were surrounded by it, and then he saw me pull it all into myself and walk away.
Now we'll ask Aurelian. Do you feel that bond was resolved?
I'm going to say yes because of the whole. It's a hesitant yes, but I think I do because I still kind of that fire was your fault.
It was my fault, but hey, it was all my creation. So now you know my strength.
I know it's dangerous. There we go.
Whatever, man.
That
All
worked.
right, let's ask. Because honestly, I actually think in that one action he resolved both his bonds.
Yeah, I kind of.
Do you guys
Let's
agree or
think it.
disagree?
I agree.
All right, cool. So, Pyros, mark off both those bonds because in one fell swoop, you showed Brother Alman the true meaning of sacrifice, while they both were feeling the hellish touch of fire, and in that sacrifice illustrated your true power. Because you're damn power gamer.
I just got lucky.
Yeah. So mark off both your bonds and take 2 points of
I did.
experience. And
Now, I'll have to pick 2 new bonds, but I mean, is there like a place I could find more examples of them? Because
I guess you could just Google it and see,
Yeah.
some of the SRDs and whatever, or just
are you okay with me working on that before the next session?
yeah, sure.
Cool.
It's not
I
that
will.
important now, but it was with Aurelian, it was kind of self-evident. It just felt like it was going in that direction. That's the only reason we decided upon it now, because it just I don't know, it felt that way to me.
Yeah, it felt right.
So moving to Brother Alman, our dear Brother Alman, your bonds. Aurelian
so-
has insulted my deity. Okay, go ahead.
Oh yeah, so I am still working on converting Pyros. I don't think I did that at all. Maybe if I had gotten a chance to heal him. Aurelian, though, so I had thought he had insulted, but by thinking me weak, I thought he had insulted my deity, except my deity decided it was a good idea to bless him. So I think Brother Alman realizes he was wrong in that. And that is, I would say that would be resolved.
Now, here's an odd thing. First, let me ask Aurelian if he agrees with that.
I do, for reasons that were not deliberate on anybody's part, because no one knew this, but Aurelian is not the kind of guy to drink on the job. And so even by just giving that quarter portion of the drink and realizing, like, oh, this is some strong stuff, he was actually acknowledging alcohol. Like, he doesn't drink often at all. So that would be it. So I feel like that might have been why your deity decided to give me that bless. Like, oh, he finally tried it.
He parties.
Oh, he parties ever so tentatively.
Yeah, exactly. He's like super serious all the time and just wants money.
However, I'm thinking that's like a fine line.
Mm-hmm.
So would you have an idea of what kind of bond you would like to replace that with?
Well, I was thinking of now him being seen as soft is a personal flaw, not one reflecting on his faith. So he would want to prove his masculinity, to not be seen as the dead weight.
So you want to prove your strength through Aurelian?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. So replace the previous bond with proving your strength to Aurelian and mark down a point of experience. Awesome.
So I think I got three experience total.
All right, and I don't think anyone has enough experience to level up now. But basically, if I remember correctly, it's like 7 plus your level, or 6 plus your level to gain the next level.
Yeah, 7.
Yeah. So once you gain 8 experience, the next time you rest, you can actually level up. So leveling goes pretty fast. So I'm guessing by the end of the 3 shot, you guys should at least be like level 3, maybe even level 4. Because you guys are doing really well. So with that, to our viewing audience, both live and in future, we'll call that. Till next week, hopefully at the same time, next Thursday, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can tune in to another episode of Wicked Pearl's Mansion, the Dungeon World Edition. And going again from my left to right, if you'd be so kind to introduce yourselves and plug any online endeavors that you're taking, starting with Dante.
Dante, Craft Wondrous Adventures. You can check me out on YouTube. I also have Facebook. Its Twitter is CWA Crafter. Check it out.
And Ian.
Fantastic Dimensions on YouTube. Let's see. I'm currently still running a Lamentations of Flame Princess campaign, which has been really good. Lots of fun. High body count. Lots of horror and weird stuff. I'll also be doing more plays of the new game by Avenger Satanis, Alpha Blue soon. If you want to get in on some weird, sexy, retro sci-fi, that should be a good time. So yeah.
And Phil.
And I got nothing to plug, but it was nice meeting the 3 of you guys, and I had a great time.
Well, maybe we should plug the Tabletop RPG one-shot group, because we don't have enough members in there. We need to run more games and play more. And Ian, being the brainchild behind it currently, the master at arms, as it were, you sorrowful bastard, you should have plugged it yourself.
Yeah, you don't want to join the Tabletop RPG one-shot group. It's a bunch of wankers, really.
Yeah, so, peace.